Here I am, folks, in the Italian Alps, about 20 kilometers from the Austrian border, heading north back to Poland. And it has been one hell of a voyage. Oh, there's the toll booth. I jumped on the toll just south of Naples and stayed on it all the way. I'm just curious how much it's gonna cost when I give him my ticket. $78.50 for the whole trip. So super excited to be in Austria. Everything going really well. Suddenly I hear some clanging, some noise. I thought I drove over a plastic bottle, let's say. And then I started smelling smoke. And it turns out that my serpentine belt is starting to shred. And, you know, parts of it are sticking out. And as it's flapping around, it's banging the plastic undercarriage. And it broke part of it that was, you know, a zip tie that was holding it together. And now I can't drive. So I've called for highway help on the Austrian highway, and they said they're sending somebody. So it's Sunday. Unfortunately, I think everything's closed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to be helped today. Maybe they'll tow me to a repair shop, and I'll probably have to spend the night in Austria. I mean, there's worse places I could stay. I'm in the Alpine area. I guess I'm maybe 250 kilometers away from Vienna. That's the status right now. I'm getting a tow from the Austrians. Thank God. It'll take me to a parking area rest stop 4 kilometers back. Got the car in neutral, just following me along. Whoa, whoa. Not sure what happened. We got it unhooked. So they took me to a rest stop, and I stayed overnight. And the next morning, this fine company picked me up by tow and took me to Wolfsburg, Austria. So while my car is being looked at, they said they couldn't get the parts today, Monday. I'm just looking around Wolfsburg, Austria. It's a quaint little quiet town. I don't think that many people live in the actual center here. They got traditional clothes, handmade. It's kind of expensive. Everything else is pretty normal in terms of, bakery, coffee shop, clothing outlets, a lot of banks. What else? Pretty quiet. Doesn't seem like a lot of people live exactly in the center. There is a train station there and a bus depot, which I will have to use. Turns out I had to use it later on. Take a bus and a train to Vienna and then a train back to Poland, but more on that later. Here I am just checking out the machine. But quiet little city, friendly people for the most part. Some spoke English, some didn't. Like I said, there's little shops, there's a galleria, there's the bus depot, bus there, gas station. Yeah, there's a mall here. Typical city. There's a castle on top of the hill, Wolfsburg Castle, which I didn't get a chance to go to. This is the shop that worked on my car and determined that the engine was destroyed. And there I am saying goodbye to my car. Goodbye, car. It's been nice knowing you. So, folks, I'm back home in Poland. It took about 10 hours to get home. I had to take a bus from Wolfsburg, Austria to Graz, and then right across the street from Graz bus depot was the train station. I took the train to Vienna, and then I took the next available train to Krakow. Luckily, it was a intercity express, whatever. It took a little over 5 hours to get from Vienna back to Krakow, and then it took an Uber or whatever. Yeah, Uber home. Here's what happened exactly, is that the serpentine belt started to go. Oh, why did the serpentine belt go? Is because the pulley or the wheel that's connected to the alternator broke off. And that's that noise I heard. I thought I rolled over a plastic bottle, but actually the wheel had broken off and slammed down, and it broke the plastic underneath the undercarriage, whatever, this plastic covering, like a, what do you call it, water splash guard type thing. And that was flapping. And then the The belt was starting to shred, and it was hitting that plastic, right? And it started smoking up, and it's getting really hot. So I turned off the engine, called SOS, and then the Affingal people came, towed me to the rest stop. I stayed overnight there because it was Sunday night. And then the next morning, as I showed, this other private guy towed me to Wolfsburg, which was the next closest town. I mean, there was a town a little bit closer, but it's whatever. He took me to Wolfsburg, which was, let's say, 18 kilometers instead of 14 kilometers. The tow cost 240 euros. And then the guys at the shop said that they couldn't get the parts. It was Monday morning. First thing, they said they're not going to be able to get the parts that day for me to, they could lent me a car, graciously lent me a tiny ass little Toyota, and I was able to drive just like 2 kilometers into the Wolfsburg itself, and I stayed at the hotel there. And then that night, so Monday night, they called me. I'd already checked into the hotel. They called me to tell me that the engine was destroyed. And here's what I think is, this is what happened. How did it get destroyed? How did it get destroyed? Because when these Affinger guys were towing me, they told me to turn on the engine so that I could have power steering, right? Because I'm steering behind these guys. That was the mistake. I should never have done that. But, I'm not thinking that the belt is going to fall apart, right? While I'm being towed. Just as we got to the rest stop is when the belt itself finally shredded and the engine basically seized up. So because this is a common rail diesel, it's a interference engine, which means that the serpentine belt influences the timing chain. Timing chain was not affected, but directly, physically. But because the serpentine belt broke, it affected the timing belt, and this caused the engine to basically destroy itself, self-destruct, whatever. And so when they tried Monday to start the engine, there's no compression, and basically ruined the engine because of these Affinger guys. I mean, telling me to do it's a horrible situation. So the car is stuck there. They're trying to sell it. They said they could sell it to somebody, I guess, in Bulgaria who buys junk cars, and then they could fix it up. It doesn't make any sense to tow the car to Poland. The tow cost would cost more than the car is worth. And so I'm basically effed right now. So I'm trying to see how we can resolve this. Hopefully they can sell it, and I can get a little bit of money out of it, and then pay these guys off, pay the tow guy, pay the repair shop, and then maybe I'll have 400 or 500 euros in my pocket, and that car is gone. I've had that car for 12 years, and I had 12 years, right? 13, 14, 15, exactly 12 years I've had that car, that Dodge Journey. I just got the transmission leak fixed before my trip. And as you know, I had a rear wheel bearing go out on me, but luckily, God bless, the Italians were able to fix it on a Saturday. And then I was on my way. I was like 700 kilometers away from home in Austria when the fan belt, the serpentine belt, had the issue. So if anybody is interested in buying a Dodge Journey for parts or whatever, let me know right away, because it's available in Wolfsburg, Austria. You'd have to tow it. You have to tow it yourself. But anyway, interior-wise, it's all good. I mean, I'm sure you can get another Volkswagen V engine, put it in there. Or if you want to rebuild the engine, I guess you could rebuild the engine. But, I don't know, give me 1,000 euros, you can have the car. Basically, I mean, unfortunately, that's the situation. So luckily, I have a backup car. I have a Volvo, a 1996 Volvo V40, which is old, but it still runs, and just for local use. And that's the situation. So yeah, it's not a pleasant ending to the trip. I was almost home, man. If this would have just happened here in Poland, in Krakow, I probably could have gotten it towed to a Polish shop, and they could have just fixed the belt, and I would have made it. But anyhow, this is the reality. This is what happens. I mean, the reality of the situation. And I left everything. I didn't know what I could carry, and I'm looking to see how would I get home. Would I take a Flixbus? Where would I get a Flixbus? The closest place is Vienna, or maybe Graz. But then Graz wanted to charge you extra for, a second suitcase, that kind of stuff. So basically, I had my suitcase, a small suitcase. I had a backpack, and I had one more bag, like a IKEA blue bag. I filled what I could put in there. I had a second winter jacket. I had, what else did I take? Oh, my shoes. And what I left behind was two 20-liter diesel gas cans, diesel cans, really nice ones, the ones you see on the back of a Jeep, right? Those are really nice cans. I had a 10-liter can, I had a funnel, two sleeping bags, a 10 centimeter thick mattress, which I was sleeping on. I had a camp stove with like about 8 or 9 extra fuel tanks. I had food, 2 bags of food. I had some food from Italy, including 2 bottles of really nice olive oil. I just gave it to the guys. I had some Italian juices, these little juice bottles, which are good. I left that. A portable heater, electric heater, space heater, which was a gift from my friend John. So it didn't cost me anything, but still, it's probably worth 50, 60 euros. And I had a 25-foot extension cord that I took for the trip, and just had to leave everything. I mean, because it doesn't make sense. The value of all that is probably 1,000 zlotys or $300. And for me to drive back down there to pay the tolls and the fuel, it would probably cost at least 1,000 zlotys. So I just left it. I mean, I just carried what I could carry, and luckily I was able to get a bus and then a train and then a train back home. So I'm safe, I'm home, and otherwise, really, except for the freaking problems in Palermo and this problem, it was a pretty uneventful trip. It was a nice trip. I really enjoyed visiting Italy, and I appreciate you guys watching the series. Hopefully you hit that subscribe button. Not sure what I'm going to be doing next in terms of another vehicle, but probably I'll have to buy something soon. If anybody has any recommendations or suggestions, ideally something that can carry at least 6 people for my whole family to fit. And I don't know what else to say. That's the story. So if you're watching this, now you know what happened. I'm home safe, but really stressful last couple of days. And but I'm just grateful to be home, and that's it. That's all you can do is just hope. Possessions you can always replace, but your safety is the most important thing. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching, and the adventure continues. This is Holy Joe Rock and Roll signing out. Peace.